Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today I thought we'd have a little casual investigation into two pet food companies that were requested that I look into for you guys today. So I thought, what better thing to do in the couple hours that my husband has taken the kids fishing than to spend it with you guys and looking into two new pet food companies. Well, they're new to me, but you know what I mean. So today we're going to look into Beaverdam pet food and Muenster Milling pet food. So let's go ahead and jump into that and see what we can figure out. So Beaverdam pet food has a website. It's beaverdampetfood.com. And I mean, it's a really pretty place. If you go to Beaverdam, about Beaverdam, and you click on that, it talks about a story of this gentleman here. I guess that's Mr. Truman Schrock, and he has basically developed this pet food because he wanted to provide a food that was both high in quality and also kept the costs down. It says here that they have all natural cookies, bones and chews, and in 2010 they added a grain-free formula. So I'm not going to harp on the grain-free. If you want to learn about my opinion and honestly the data behind grain-free foods and what they mean and why I don't recommend them, you can check out that video. So I'm not going to harp on that, but they do offer a grain-free as well as some other different varieties. So they've got their premium dog food, and it wasn't specific as to whether or not which particular food they wanted me to review, so I'm just going to kind of do an overview on it. So if you click on the Beaverdam our products, they've got a couple different choices. So they've got Skipper's Choice, they've got Ellie's Choice, Ellie's Select, they've got a high protein, they've got an adult high energy, and they also have some cat foods as well. And so the claims on this are they're going to be more cost effective, and they're going to have kind of a superior nutrition. So let's see, which one are we going to review? Let's look at the brochure here. So there are all the different varieties. Okay, so right here, when they're talking about what makes this food good, it says, does your pet suffer from allergies? All Beaverdam pet food is made for pets that suffered from allergies in mind. The primary cause of allergies for dog, cats is ingredients such as corn, wheats, and glutens. Okay, I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to jump on a soapbox. This is a very common misconception in pet dermatology. Not amongst veterinarians and not amongst dermatologists, but amongst people that haven't received the proper training in dermatology. So veterinary dermatology is something that you learn when you go through vet school, but it's also a specialty. So you can go to school for an additional 4 years and take a board test, and then you can be a board certified dermatologist. And so the information that I am going to give you is information that I learned in veterinary school. I am not a dermatologist. I did not complete a dermatology residency, but I do follow the recommendations from dermatologists, and I implement that in my daily practice. And so one of the key things that you learn in veterinary school, and one of the key things that a veterinary dermatologist will tell you, is that pets are not allergic in their skin to corn, wheat, or glutens. Pets have allergies to protein sources. That is not made up. That is something that has been studied and researched for a long time. And so I will pop up a couple informational pieces here for you to kind of back that up, but you certainly can find lots of research. And this is very widely accepted in the veterinary community. It is not really disputed. This is fact, that animals that have allergies to food are not from corn, wheat, or gluten. They are from the protein sources. So right here, this information is incorrect. It does not mean that this food is not a good food. We're going to continue to research this food and see if it meets all of our check boxes. But as far as this claim that this food is made for pets that suffer from allergies, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with that. You guys can come for me in the comments if you want. but this is fact. It goes on to say these ingredients can cause allergies and other harmful effects to pets. So they utilize real meat protein from pork and chicken in combination with other natural preservatives. There's nothing wrong with that, but it has nothing to do with pet allergies. So if you purchase this food, please know that it is not going to do anything necessarily for your pet's allergies. So we're going to just hop off that soapbox and we're going to get back into looking at the food, because right underneath that we've got our first little guaranteed analysis. And so just briefly looking at this, and can we zoom in? Yes, we can. Perfect. So looking at this here, they do list the protein, the fat, and the fiber, which we are going to want. I can see already that they have omitted the calcium and the phosphorus, which we always like to go over in this channel because it's very important for senior pets and pets with certain conditions. So they're not listing that, which is kind of a bummer, but we can evaluate these first couple ingredients and then we'll go on to some of their other foods and see kind of what they have in store for us. So let me pull up my chart. As we've gone over before, I did not make these numbers up in this chart. I do collect this information from the textbook, Small Animal Clinical Nutrition. And so that's where those numbers come from. There we go. Okay, so protein we want between 15 and 30%, and they're going to be in excess of that parameter. So the protein is 33%. That's a minimum, so that means that it can be higher than 33%. And so a lot of people think that more protein is better, and unfortunately that is just not the case. The right amount of protein is better, because if you have excess amounts of protein, that means your body, your kidneys need to excrete that. And so if your kidneys are spending all of its time processing and excreting additional amounts of protein that your body's not using, that actually puts strain on the kidneys. And so more protein is not better. And so this one is not going to meet my parameter for protein. Fat at 16% is adequate, and fiber at 45% is going to be fine. It does not list the calcium and phosphorus, so we are not going to be able to evaluate that. And so right there, they're listing that as 33% protein. When you go through the ingredients, you can see it does have, just as they claim, the chicken meal, the pork meal, and then it's got a couple other things in here to meet some of the other requirements. And so you can peruse through that, but it's not really super important to us. They've got a puppy adult, high energy, and so right here you can see they're lumping puppy and adult together. So we've talked about this before as well. We want to have a food that is specific for your pet's life stage. So a puppy does not have the same nutritional requirements as an adult. That's published information that, again, is also in that clinical nutrition textbook. And so a puppy has its requirements, an adult has its requirements. They do not overlap. So let's check out the guaranteed analysis for this. So we've got our protein at 26%, which is going to be more appropriate for an adult. We've got fat at 18%, which is also appropriate for an adult, and fiber at 3.8%, which is appropriate for an adult. So I think that this particular one is going to be okay for an adult, but we do not like when things are lumped together as all life stages. So we like to have a food, if we're going for the best, we want to have a food that is particular for our pet's life stage. So let's keep scrolling. Yeah, so they're touting the all life stage thing, but that's just honestly not a great thing. So we've got some food here for normally active adults. So protein is going to be more appropriate in this one. Fat is also going to be appropriate, and fiber is going to be appropriate. So that one looks fine too. Then we've got Skipper's Choice, so another all life stage. We've got 21% on protein, that seems fine, 12 on fat, and 3.8 on fiber. That one looks good. And then we're going to get into cat after that. So we're not going to be doing cat on this video because it'll make this video excruciatingly long. But if you'd like to see something about cat food, just go ahead and leave me a comment and I will do one on cats. Okay, so the other claim that this diet, the reason for making this diet was that it is more cost effective. So let's see if that is true. Buy online. Okay, so you've got a couple different options. So for a 40-pound bag, that is going to be $49 for the yellow Beaver Dam. It's their grain-free version, which we already know is just a bunch of marketing and has nothing to do with anything good for your pet and may actually cause heart disease. You can buy that food for $65. And then they've got the puppy adult, that's going to be $49. So let's just go with the this one here, and let's see. So $49 for 40 pounds. That's $1.22, $1.23 a pound. So let me just let's shoot over to Chewy. I don't know. Don't leave off the Y in Chewy, or it'll bring you to something you don't want. Okay, so let's just go with let's just type in adult dog food. All right, so we're just gonna peruse through a few. So you've got a 30-pound bag of Blue Buffalo. You can buy adult for $47.48, and that is a 30-pound bag. So that's about $1.60 a pound. So the Beaver Dam is cheaper than that. Beaver Dam is going to be cheaper than the Pro Plan. It's going to be cheaper than the Science Diet. It is going to be more expensive than the Purina One rice and adult formula, and we actually have reviewed that, and it turns out to be a pretty darn good food. You can check out that review, but let's see. So it's $32.28 divided by 30. So that the Beaver Dam was about $1.20 something, and the Purina One is only $1.08. So you can definitely get a good quality food for cheaper than the Beaver Dam, but there are certainly ones that are more expensive as well. So that is the Beaver Dam in a nutshell. I think that some of those foods met the parameters and they seem to be fine. I did read also in the about Beaver Dam that these foods are made and sourced in the USA. So if that is something that you like, that would be another bonus for you with this one. So I would say if you wanna do the Beaver Dam, I would stick with one of the varieties that is not grain-free. And I would also realize that although they say this food is for pets with allergies, it's not going to be a very good or even appropriate food trial if your pet has truly been diagnosed with food allergies. So that is the Beaver Dam pet food in a nutshell. And the other one that they were interested in was called Muenster Milling. I have never heard of these foods. You guys need to let me know where you're finding out about these things, because I'm a veterinarian and you guys bring new foods to me like literally every day, which is really amazing. So leave me a comment down below where you guys hear about this. Is it word of mouth? Is it internet? Is it advertising? Where are you guys hearing about these weird companies? Okay, so muenstermilling.com, that is the website for this particular food. Let's see, legacy. Let's read about the company. So it looks like they've got a little video there. We are not going to watch that. Feel free to watch it if you want, but we're just going to scroll down. So fourth generation family owned and operated animal food manufacturer in Muenster, Texas. So that's where they get the name from. Okay. Yeah, so they started out as a grain milling family and they kind of transitioned into pet food. Okay. It says that their ingredients are sourced locally as possible, and a healthy animal is a happy animal. I can't disagree with that. And they believe that you should feed your animals with the same care and compassion as you would feed members of your family. Okay, I like all that. That's all pretty good. So it looks like you can build your own food here. So let's Let's build our own food. All right, so right here, you could pick ancient grains. So it's not wheat, corn, dairy, GMO, blah 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 blah, and for all life stages. So this is going to be an all life stages food. They do have grain free, but again, we are not even going to mess with that. So we're gonna do the ancient grains. The Beaver Dam was a chicken and pork, so we'll do chicken and pork so we can have a proper comparison. They only have a 30-pound bag, so let's check 30. Add animal or plant grain fats. So these here look like they're add-ons. I would imagine that the food has to have fat in it. You can't commercially sell a pet food that is devoid of fat. So I'm thinking this is just something, again, a little marketing thing where if you want to add some special fats, salmon, bacon, or coconut oil, you can do that. Add probiotics. Okay, I mean, you can add probiotics other ways as well. Freeze-dried raw, we've talked about that. Anything that's raw, I am not going to recommend. You should avoid. Add protein booster. We don't need to add protein. We just talked about that with the Beaver Dam. And then frequency. It looks like you can have them auto ship it, but we're just going to do a one-time purchase. And then we can name it, but I don't really see why we should name it. So formula looks like perfect balanced chicken meal and pork recipe with the ancient grains, and it's going to be a 30-pound bag. It's going to cost us $39.99. So let's see if we add it to the cart, if we can actually see what the guaranteed analysis is going to be. So we got it in the cart here. Okay, so let's click on it. So it looks like it's not actually made for your pet. What that thing is doing is it's trying to narrow down some of the food they probably already sell, because here they've got this prepackaged bag, which obviously has, the guaranteed analysis and everything already on it, which makes sense because they couldn't possibly package every single, it couldn't package every single different option. So that's just probably helping you find the one that most fits what you're looking for. So let's zoom in and let's check out the ingredients. So they've got the chicken meal, which they promised it would have. We had also selected that we wanted pork. I'm not seeing pork on here, even though we selected that. So that kind of goes back to where I was thinking you're not actually making your diet. It's just sorting out to what they have already that's closest. So right here it says puppies, adults, and seniors. So this is going to be an all life stage. We would prefer it to be tailored to our pet's specific needs, but that's fine. We've reviewed many foods that are all life stages that turn out to be just fine. So we're not going to dock them a whole lot of points on that, maybe just like half a point. And they do list the guaranteed analysis, and I am very happy to report that they did list the calcium and phosphorus. So that is going to suit us quite well. Protein, we want between 15 and 30%, and it is. Fat at 18% is also going to be good. Fiber at 5% max is right at the top, so that's good. Phosphorus at 1%. Phosphorus is slightly elevated for an adult, and so we want our phosphorus, if we're feeding this food to adult, to be between 0.4 and 0.8%. So this is slightly out of the range for phosphorus at 1%. Calcium at 1.2 is also elevated. And so what this is going to do, if you're feeding this to an adult dog, a normal adult dog, it's probably fine, but if you have a senior pet or an adult dog that is already having some issues with the kidneys, this inappropriate excess supplementation of calcium and phosphorus is going to cause a little bit of issue with your kidneys, because again, kidneys have to process and excrete that, and so they're going to be overworked processing the excess of phosphorus and calcium. And this may be because it's all life stages. So just to kind of test my hypothesis, let me go ahead and pull the puppy chart. So just give me a minute to do that. Okay, so I have the large breed puppy here. I had it handy because we just did a review on large breed puppy last week. And so you can check that video out too. But if you come and you look over here, protein, 24% does meet a large breed puppy. Calcium, it meets a large breed puppy. Phosphorus meets a large breed puppy. And so basically, because they listed this as all life stages, it means it needs to meet the most rigorous requirements, and pregnant, lactating, and growing puppies are the most rigorous. So in order to say that this food's all life stages, it has to meet that minimum for the most rigorous. And so as you can see, this food actually is probably more appropriate for a large breed puppy than an adult, because they have supplemented in an adult too much calcium and too much phosphorus. So that is that. Let's see, price wise, how did it compare? So $39.99. If you remember, the Beaver Dam, which was a pretty darn good food, was $1.20-ish a pound, and so this is a 30-pound. This is going to be more expensive than the Beaver Dam. And so I guess with this, what I would say is I would, if I had to pick between Beaver Dam and Muenster Millings for an adult dog, I would go with the Beaver Dam. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we're harping on the Muenster Milling because of the calcium and phosphorus, but the Beaver Dam, it didn't actually even list the calcium and phosphorus. And we know from this channel that when a company tends to avoid listing the calcium and phosphorus, that a lot of times means that it's out of the range. So let's just pause. Let me see if I can track that down this weekend here in these few hours that I have kid free. So hold on one second. Okay, so I am back. I had to go ahead and email the Beaver Dam company, and very good customer service. They got back to me pretty promptly, and they said that the high protein phosphorus content is 1.2%, and the calcium the calcium content is 1.8%. And so I am going to have to recant my previous statement and say that I would not do the Beaver Dam, because the Beaver Dam is way out of the reference range for calcium and phosphorus. And so a normal dog or a dog with kidney problems or something like that is going to have a hard time with that diet. So in this case, I'm going to have to go with the Muenster Milling. So if I had to pick between these two foods and I was analyzing the packages just like we did and went through all the label claims, I think on this one I would go with the Muenster Milling. So I hope that answers your questions. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.